William, hopefully your favorite videographer. We are here at the Dallas Area Rapid Transit Board meeting, the agency known as DART to Dallas, Texas residents. As a service to the Dallas community, we plan to cover DART board meetings from gavel to gavel. Public comments are required to keep DART board aware of issues close to the ridership that they may not get through other resources.
It is 6:30 on Tuesday, August 25th, 2015, and this meeting of the Dallas Area Rapid Transit Board of Directors meeting is called to order. Our first order of business is approval of the prior minutes. Are there any objections, corrections, additions to the minutes presented? The minutes are entered as presented. Our first order of business is a report from Phyllis Silva, the chair of our CAC.
Thank you, Mr. Strauss. I'm Phyllis Silva, chair of the DART Citizens Advisory Committee, and I'm going to brief you on the meetings of July 16th and August 20th of this year. At our July 16th meeting, Lyle Miller, senior manager of DART's Creative Services, spoke with our group about plans to bring a consulting team on board for a customer communications audit. At the time of our July meeting, the selection of the consulting company had not been finalized. As of August the 4th, the contract has been awarded, the work has begun, and it is anticipated that the duration of the project will be approximately 6 months. The purpose of the communications audit is to enhance DART's customer experience by improving communication systems wide. As I previously reported, several of our committee members have submitted improvement recommendations on various aspects of DART communications. These have been forwarded to Lyle for review by the audit group. In addition to their own analysis and comments from our committee, the consulting group will look at ideas from such sources as a DART task force and customer surveys. Lyle has asked for the opportunity to return with the consultants during a future CAC meeting. We look forward to this follow-up. On August 20th, we had a brief business meeting prior to taking a tour. At our business meeting, committee members encouraged me to recommend to you greater police presence on the Blue Line, especially after 10 p.m. south of the Cedar Station. After our meeting, we traveled by van to the Central Rail Operating Facility, also known as CROF, and there Breon Swanigan, Chief Rail Operations Controller, provided an informative explanation of the computerized schematic showing the rail lines and the location of all light rail trains in service at any point in time. This is called Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, also known as SCADA, and we were impressed by the technology and its ability to keep the rails operationally safe. After visiting the Train Control Center, Vicki Biggers, Assistant Manager of Bus Operations Control, gave us a quick overview of the bus dispatch operation. We appreciate the time and hospitality extended to our group by both the train and bus operations teams. Our next meeting will be on Thursday, September 17th at 6 p.m. in Conference Room 1C. As always, DART board members are invited to join us. Rob Smith, Assistant Vice President of Service Planning, will brief us on the March 2016 proposed service changes. Thank you.
Thank you for your excellent report, Ms. Silver. I understand that we have a special recognition this evening for a long-tenured member of the Community Advisory Committee, Mr. Bernard Williams, Jr.
Yes, we do. We're very proud to be presenting him with a proclamation tonight, and I just want to give a brief...
Ms. Gates
Sure, okay.
will join us. Ms. Silver...
I'd like to say that Chris Walker and Dave Brady are here in addition to myself from the Citizens Advisory Committee. And we appreciate Bernard Williams Jr.'s contributions to the committee, and we're certainly going to miss him. and we wish him all the best. And I'd like to read the proclamation that's here. I've got it in printed form. It says, honorary proclamation issued to Bernard Williams, Jr. for outstanding service to the Dart Citizens Advisory Committee. Whereas the Dart Citizens Advisory Committee assists the board by providing input from service area stakeholders in the areas of planning, service delivery, and maintenance as part of the development of Dart's transportation network. And whereas Bernard Williams, Jr. served on the CAC for more than 10 years, and whereas Bernard Williams, Jr. helped guide agency policies and programs during his tenure on the CAC, and whereas Bernard Williams, Jr. served consistently and admirably as a member of the CAC, and whereas Bernard retired from service on the CAC in 2015, now therefore be it resolved that the Dart Citizens Advisory Committee expresses its sincere appreciation to Bernard Williams, Jr. for his years of dedication and service, dated August 25th, 2015.
Thank you. And where is Mr. Williams?
Well, Mr. Williams is coming up, if I might, and Mr. Chairman and Mr. Thomas, I'm going to ask you guys to work your way up to the, around to the lectern here, because we're going to take a few pictures in a moment, but I want to take this brief moment to acknowledge Mr. Williams's long tenured service on the CAC. It is my distinct honor and privilege to be a part of this recognition to you tonight, Mr. Williams. I want those on the board to know that Mr. Williams was actually appointed by former board chairman Hewlin Harrison. And when Hewlin rotated off the board, I was appointed in his place. And I was so pleased to know that Mr. Williams was his CAC appointee, because I actually have a relationship with Mr. Williams through my husband and his family and Mr. Williams's family. So it was just a wonderful continuum for me. Mr. Williams has served tirelessly and tremendously, and I'm so proud of his service. I'm proud of the family connection that we have. And Mr. Williams, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the time and the service and the commitment that you've given to DART on the CAC. And we have, in addition to the proclamation, we have a couple of little gifts to give you. As a point of personal privilege, I want to take this moment to thank Mr. Williams' wife, Marguerite, who I know that she's the one who's made sure that he's been able to serve as tirelessly and as committedly and the like during the time. So we have a special gift for you too. All right. I also want to take a further point of privilege to recognize Mr. Williams's family who are here with him today. His daughter, Dr. Susan McElroy, his granddaughter, Erica Childs, his daughter and son-in-law, Martha and Louis Bedford. Thank you all for coming this evening. We are so appreciative of that. Finally, I want to thank Lawrence Meshach and Nancy Johnson for their work to put together tonight's presentation to Mr. Williams. Thank you both. So with that, Mr. Williams, please.
Thank you very much. I am very brief in my statements. I wanted to say it was a privilege and a pleasure to have been able to serve on the DART Citizens Advisory Committee. I look forward to attending the meetings, and if you allow me without thinking I was being braggadocious, I don't think I missed very few meetings while I was on that committee. And it was a privilege to be there and serve DART, and I want to thank all of you.
Thank you. Can't read. Are we going to be able to do the pictures over here? Mr. Williams, can you come over just a little bit to the center? There you go. Wherever, right there is good, Mr. Williams. Marguerite, can you come on up? And then you guys, come on up. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Williams, again, I wish to thank you for your involvement and your assistance to us over the years. We have been very fortunate to have your advice. And we will continue with our agenda now. We have some public comments, and our Vice Chair, Ms. Faye Wilkins, will read a statement regarding public comments.
Okay, public comments. General public comments will be allowed at the beginning of each dartboard meeting for a total of 30 minutes, and again at the end of the meeting when the 30-minute period does not accommodate all persons who have signed up to speak. Individuals who have addressed the board in the past 30 days will be recognized to speak during the public comment period at the end of the meeting. During the public comment period, board members may not interact with the speakers or other board members by asking questions or offering their own comments. Members of the public are reminded that their behavior during dartboard meetings is governed by the Dartboard Code of Conduct for citizens, news media, and visitors. Personal attacks, impertinent and slanderous remarks, and boisterous conduct will not be allowed. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. The green light on the podium will indicate when you can begin speaking. The yellow light indicates that you have 1 minute remaining, and the red light indicates that your time has expired.
Our first speaker is Ms. Ludi Matthias. She does not appear to be here. Our next speaker is Mr. Norris Johnson.
I want to first begin by saying that I do highly respect this opportunity to address you distinguished DART board members, and I am very regretfully missing our president, Gary Thomas. I hope he's okay. I have some commendations to mention first on behalf of my personal observations, and they have to do with the able-bodied staff. DART Police Chief Ed Addison heads up. He's been nothing but ultimately a professional. He's been a very solid, highly responsive, quick response public servant, and him and his staff, containing Sergeants Monk, Plunk, and numerous other staff members, have been nothing but the best of professionality in public service. Now, I have a couple of DART drivers that I want to commend also. Tony Lozada, Ronaldo Orta, and just this afternoon, a DART driver, Haynes, who had the consideration to pick me up because I'm one step short of as fast as I used to be. Now, getting down to brass tacks here, and by the way, Mr. Williams, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. I ain't mad at you. You got a cute one next to you there, too. My dad always said beside every good man was an even better woman. Mr. Williams and Wanda exemplify that impeccably. Okay, now, my two major items of concern have to do with the recent stress-related deaths of two of our own DART bus drivers. My question of concern to you is, are we giving enough support to these drivers where they're getting the proper psychiatric and supportive help, where they don't have a high stress level, where they don't have to go home and not wake up? Are we giving them enough police support in plain clothes, with dogs, with all of the officer access we have to help lower their stress level where they don't take a literal butt kicking every day and then go home and can't wake up? I'm genuinely concerned about that. And last but not least, I have several other situations, but I did visit closely with the driver who gave me permission to mention his name, Deacon Blair, on the 164 line. I observed him, and I promised him I would report back to you all that he has improved and gotten his persona down to a level of public service rather than up to that of trying to be a minister and pastor to all his pastors. It's very simple and sweet. Take them from point A to point B and you're done. I'll follow up with everything else later. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your comments, Mr. Johnson. Thank you for coming. Our next speaker is Mr. James Murphy.
Shanak, Habibi, Alhamdulillah. My name is James Murphy. In Iraq, Papa Smurf, Baba Support. Okay, listen. August 20th, coming from the VA, Key Station, got on the 522. Little tiny little girl, so pretty. Asked her mother if I could give her $1. I said yes. The baby loved it. Got off the bus, I left my wallet. Like the Irish. Okay, come Monday, I found out that Dart Lost and Found had the wallet. Oh, thank you. I went and got it on Tuesday. Money, $62, was gone. I expected that. Took the blue line back to Keys, got on the 522. Same bus driver. He remembered me because I'm a regular. He asked me if I got my wallet back, and I said yes. He said, well, I'm thankful for that. I said, yeah, but I was missing the money. He says, but sir, when I turned it in, it had money in it. So I went back and I filed a claim. They had me go a couple of times and get a copy of a ATM withdrawal that I'd made at the VA right before I left, $60. Well, then they called me and told me, okay, they were going to send me a release, and I'll return it, and I'd get the money back. Well, let me read a line from this release. And it is further understood that this settlement is a compromise of a doubtful and disputed claim, and that payment is not to be as a compromise construed as an admission of liability on the part of DART. An honest DART employee turned in my wallet. A dishonest DART employee stole the money. There's no set procedure for checking in money. The man I was dealing with told me he'd never heard of it before. Well, what are the odds of running into the very bus driver that found your wallet and knew that it had money in it when they turned it in? DART's come a long way. You're still a long way from world class, but you're up from no class. But there needs to be a better system of checks and balances. You know, how many other people have lost money under the same situation? No, they're not going to take a computer or a cell phone or something that can be traced back to them. Thank you, thank you.
Mr. Murphy, would you speak with Nevin Grinnell? Would you please speak with Nevin Grinnell, the fellow standing up in the back? Nevin Grinnell, thank you very much. Our next speaker is Mr. Russell Pompa.
Good afternoon, Board. Thank you for letting me speak. I respect each one of you, and I love my job. I've been here 15 years. I'm one of the hardest workers in my shop, and I'm proud to be a part of DART. I'm going to rattle this off real quick because I know it's just 3 minutes. I've got a lot to say after 15 years, but I'll brief this. I think we're wasting a lot of money and time on the 5-star program. The program never launched from the top down. It started from the bottom up. That shows that either you're not happy with your #1 rank as a transit agency in the industry, keeping you at #1 over and over again, or you forgot how you became #1. Forgot because you've hired new people and did not maintain a strong company mission. The issue you have with that idea is it implies that you refuse to admit that these people on the ground, they're the very ones that made you #1, made you #1 absent any program. Nothing has changed, by the way, nothing in the last 15 years. You still have a huge workforce of good people, a well-diverse staff body filled with talent, skills, and a willingness to do their part every day. 5-star has contributed nothing. The hourly employee is the difference maker and was already making the difference, not a new program. Your 5-star program has been received as you, the one doing the work, you need to do more. That sounds like you're not good enough, or we don't know how to be successful at DART, and you may be #1, but now that's not good enough. Not to discredit a team of leadership. We appreciate a good leadership team, but support and investing in us is what we need more of, not more demand. You hire the right people. What happened to the investment into your field staff? DART once had a strong reputation of taking real good care of their blue-collar workers. Do you know that people only ride transit out of necessity, cost, or convenience? No new money spent on a program will increase ridership. How much return on your investment have you made on this program? With fuel prices so low, even a 10-star program will not increase that portion of our ridership. The first thing that should have happened is producing a much more safe environment for existing and new riders. Hire more police, security, and ticket agents. Make people feel safe and lower the risk. This will couple with convenience, giving an increase if it's there. You still have to compete with the limited time people have to do their business. A 25-minute trip in my car can take more than 2 hours using DART. Having a strong, supported, united, well-cared-for staff will retain your riders, and that word of mouth will encourage new riders. When I go back to the glory days, the days when you invested in your staff every new fiscal year a little more, that in turn made you #1. The harder you worked for us, the harder we worked for you. I see a gradual transition here, and honestly, it's sad to watch it play out. Less and less reward, less and less investment, more and more demand. That's not how DART became #1. A little bit about me. I was born and grew up in Dallas. Born to a mother with a total of 3 children. She raised them in poverty. It was the best she had to offer. Between WIC welfare, food stamps, public health care, Section 8 housing, we managed to get by. We only had public transit to go anywhere. We never had a car. That was the Dallas transit system. We use transit for everything. Weekly grocery shopping, 8 loads of laundry, back and forth to the laundromat, to church, to the clinic, to the doctor. I know personally how important transit is. I'm proud to work so hard for you. You should go back to proving how important you think we are to you. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Pompa. Our next speaker is Mr. Mark York.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark York. I'm the Executive Secretary Treasurer of the Dallas AFL-CIO Central Labor Council here. Our organization represents over 40-some different union affiliates and a membership of 55,000 union members in Dallas County alone, which the ATU is a proud member of. Dallas has the world-class DART. You employ the largest group of ambassadors to the city. This is the face that we see every day. I work at American Airlines. I have 30 years there, and I've traveled across the country, across the world, and I can honestly say Dallas has a world-class transportation. We've had a long, rich history of labor peace in Dallas also. I'm very disappointed, we are disappointed with some of the things that we've heard from the ATU. They've always bragged that they've had a healthy relationship with the DART board, that they were always able to work things out in a fair and equitable manner. Some of the things that we've been hearing that's going on with the DART employees gives us a genuine concern of what's going on. Our only request is to be fair and pay an honest day for an honest work. That's all we need, just middle class, we're middle class people. Dallas just passed its very first living wage ordinance for airplane concessions at the airport at Love Field. Dallas has a poverty problem. We have #1 in child poverty. These are the people that help day in and day out to lift us out of poverty. So we ask you folks, please deal fair and equitably with the ATU, and let's put these problems behind us. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Albert Dirla.
It's a short name, real easy to pronounce. Albert Durla, Recording Secretary, Local 1338. Northwest bus operator as well. Just got a question. Why is DART every year taking something back from the hourly workers, hourly employees, our benefits? Let me go back a few years. You started with the $750 bonus, a DART management takeaway. Last year, eliminating spouses from being insured in the health care plan, DART management took away. Now, this year, we are being faced with a proposed modification, Chapter 7, our benefits, shift assignment pay, holiday pay, sick and vacation leave pay, temporary assignment pay. Also, DART management wants to implement a Cronus timekeeper system, which would require the use of a thumbprint for all salary and maintenance employees to clock in and out for duty. For what? What is wrong with the current system we have with the ID cards that currently the Transportation Department is using, and also is being used by all DART employees to access DART facilities, which is bought and paid for, and will not require much training. Besides, anyone of the general public can do an open records request on the thumbprint. Shift assignment pay, another one of DART's takeaways. By management taken from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. and wanting to pay everyone that works between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. 3.5%, which would be a 1.5% decrease in pay for all hourly employees, maintenance, rail and bus operators, utility servicers, and rail flaggers, TEC, bus, rail mechanics, and much more. While each and every vice president, assistant vice president, senior manager, and assistant manager is sleeping comfortably in their beds at night, while these hourly employees are out risking their lives either on the right-of-way, flagging drains, under the bus or rail car, turning wrenches, or just out in the general public where all walks of life come into contact to us during these hours of 11p and 3a. DART board members, what I'm trying to say is, in between these hours of 11p and 3a is dangerous hours. Holiday pay, another takeaway from DART. Management adding language absent without prior approval and absent without pre-approval. So if the hourly employee gets sick either the day before or after the holiday, we will not get our holiday pay like we do now. Think about it. Vacation leave. DART proposes language, vacation leave is expendable as it is accrued after the employee has completed the probationary period. Accrued vacation is and has always been for the following year only, a word that management loves to use, only. Furthermore, management also mentions proposed modifications to the AEM under Chapter 10.1, but does not put the AEM proposed modification language anywhere in his letter. Makes me wonder, is it because the salary folks do not want to change anything as far as holiday pay, SAP? Think about it. Just another attack of the hourly employee. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Kenneth Day.
They have handouts to read later. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, honorable board members, Mr. Thomas. It is a pleasure to stand again and have this privilege to speak to you. Some literature that's coming around is regarding the Coronis, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, the new proposed timekeeping system. Those are some reviews that we were able to do some research and determine that there's been a lot of problems in other places that has experimented. Currently, today we have a time system. The time system our operators use to clock in is a system that can be expandable. You've already purchased it. Why would we go out, invest almost $1 million in a new system? In order to access this building and any other DART facility, you have to clock in. So you know when I'm coming and you know when I'm leaving. That system that I swipe in with, that's currently utilized by operators, can be expanded. Why spend $1 million? And we're assuming to pay for this new system, those proposed modifications that's been passed out, taken away from the employees, I guess that's the way you're going to pay for it. It's something that's unneeded. We shouldn't have to pay for it ourselves. You got a system, utilize a system that we've worked all the bugs out. We know what it's about. This Cronus system, you don't know what it's about. And that's just some of the reviews that we were able to find with this system that you're going to be experimenting with. That's $1 million. And you know, we always talk about this pie that DART has. This pie of money. Only so much can come out of the pie. We understand that. We get it. But we shouldn't be wasting slices of the pie or wasting crumbs of the pies. Let's put that pie and that money that you're taking out of the pie, let's put it in the right place. The employees are upset. What you see here is a few employees. You've got, in addition to the many responses that have already been posted on the DARTnet, you've got a little bit less than 1,000 petitions that's coming. Employees are upset. Employees don't believe it's right, wants to be treated fair and equitable. We ask that you hear us. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ms. Crystal Gay.
Hello, I'm Crystal Gay. I am a rail operator at CROF, Thank you for having me. The first thing I want to say is, upon me sitting in the back, I noticed one thing that kind of disturbed me a little bit, and not to point any fingers. I originally had agenda and on a particular subject, but what bothers me is the fact that while I'm sitting back there watching you all as our board officers, it's kind of unsettling to see the facial expressions on some of you as we speak before you. In my mind, I'm saying to myself, are you really listening to what we're saying? Or are you ready to go home? I don't really know. But my thing is this. As you sit before where you sit, you was granted this position because you carry the qualifications to have the seat that you very well have. But my thing is, if you don't have passion for what you do, then why would what I'm about to say to you mean anything where I could see anything come of it? I see a young gentleman over here, the whole time he's been having this frown, his hand is on his face, and I'm saying to myself, is he even really listening to the voices that are coming before him? You know, my thing is this. You come to work maybe 8 to 5 every day. You don't even know my shift. You don't even know me from the next person. But what you don't understand is when you sit in your meetings and you sit up here and you come with a decision for me that affects me, you don't understand how that makes me feel. You don't know where they put the morale of the next individual that resides with the company that you work for. My thing is, if you would ever allow your mind to get outside of the box, meaning that you wouldn't think of only your feelings because of what you do every day, meaning that you would take in consideration of how someone else may feel about the decisions that you all choose to make sometimes, then it will allow you to not only see from your perspective, but beyond your own, someone else's, and allow some of your decisions that you all come together to make to have a better impact on the workers that you see coming before you. My thing is, I'm a ATU 1338 representative, the executive board out for the rail. When I hold my job and I was granted the position that I hold, it's because I had the passion behind it. Not because I just wanted it, but because of the passion. Along with my passion, I have empathy, not sympathy, empathy. And with my empathy, it allows me to come in a different perspective each and every time that I sit before someone in a meeting setting, and not with the mindset of if I or how I feel. It's how they feel, what they may feel, or what they may think. When you sit up here and you take things away and you say, I'm going to make it this way, when reality is the morale is coming down. Yes, you brought to us a 5-star service program, but how can I really show you and display the things that you want me to show through a 5-star program that you all have come up that seems so beautiful to you all when I'm so sad on the inside because you're hurting me? I want to take the time out, and I did say this. I questioned whether or not I wanted to come up here, but God put it on me to say the things that I said because I saw facial expressions the way I did. And I really hope that moving forward, that it can bring a different side of you so we can have different results to get different impacts that you have gotten in the past.
Our next speaker is Ms. Margie Bonner.
Good evening. My name is Margie Bonner. Today is my first meeting I've attended as far as the board meeting. I am a bus operator out of Northwest. My concern is, one, the red light camera. I am a victim of that. That's why I'm here today to stand before you. Driving the bus, if none of you have ever been a bus operator, I don't know where you started from, but me being a bus operator have been here at DART for 3 years. Of course, we deal with daily pressures, but it's even more stress when you're driving that bus and you're trying to make it through a light that's been green. I don't know. A lot of them in different cities don't have timers on them like some cities do. And so in your mind, you're thinking, I gotta try to make it through this light safely, but also without getting tagged again for a red light camera. And my thing is, if you're a first-time violator, I feel like it should be a policy or a reprimand for first-time warnings like it is for your attendance on anything else. And the second, in the second agenda, I didn't put it on the card, but as I sat and heard other things throughout the meeting, the morale as far as attendance, I think, I wasn't here when the $700 bonus was, but to me, people are motivated by money. Of course, all of us are. When it's time for your raise, you want it. So that's how we are as bus operators. We have no problem to coming to work, but we want to know that that's an extra incentive. And you probably wouldn't have the problem that you have at different garages where people are calling in or, as some say, abusing the system. Let's bring that back. I would love to see that. That boosts me on. And so once again, each city has a different violation as far as red light cameras, and I think there should be something put in place for first-time offenders as far as a written warning, because that stays on our record as far as policy-wise for 3 years, and that's enough. When you're driving that bus, you're trying to be safe. How is that safe when I'm driving with stress? Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. William Sanders, Jr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To save time, may I say greetings to the board.
Greetings.
My name is William Sanders, Jr. I reside at 3016 Modry Avenue, Dallas, Texas, 75216. Mr. Chairman, I would like you and the board, the executive director, and his staff to know that I am as much a DART employee as I was February 15th, 1965 until June 21st, 1993. And I'm here again because I still hear my people cry. In that little two-room school down in the Sandy Hills of Louisiana, I was told that the whole is equal to the total sum of its parts. Now, DART being the whole, the parts are these employees. And Mr. Chairman, if I'm gavelled down before I finish, I will respectfully take my seat. However, I'm going to be help to all those I can, as long as I can, for whatever the case may be, as long as I live. I want you to know also that I am prepared to meet my Maker. However, I'm not ready to go yet because I have work to do. I see the woods dark and deep, but I have promises to keep. For I have miles to travel before I sleep because I still hear my people as they weep. Now, Mr. Chairman, as I sit and hear the people cry, there's right, there's wrong. Now, what are we going to do? What's so bad about being right? Be right, do it right, treat everybody right, and you're finished. And you'll be surprised of how your people will be towards you. I can give you some history. I have history from 1965 until 1993. I have a lot of history. I have that history when, and I don't mean this derogatory, but it's the truth. I have history of when I wasn't invited to Dallas Transit System. I know what it was to say, boy, you are not wanted here. I know I came through all of that. And when I see things happen as it does today, it saddens my heart. And I have a lot of other things I can say, but I'm like, who was it? Adolf Hitler said, I will return. Thank you.
Mr. Seth Hewlett. No, I didn't miss.
Thank you very much for letting me speak. First, I just want to reiterate what someone said about putting more police officers on the blue line after 10. So that sounds like a good idea. What I'm speaking about is actually police brutality overall. Now, if you add more police officers and some poor training accident, such as in Arlington, there's actually a simple way to lower police brutality overall. There's two types of policies within a police department: pursue, and then after they have the person in custody. So after the pursuit. So I'm going to talk about the pursuit and the custodial. If you get them above 80%, I prefer 85. You know, if the officers, it has to be every single officer, but above 85%, which it's their own policy, meaning DART has police policies for pursuit of someone. And I'm not saying that you guys have police brutality, but if you audit each police officer and you make sure that they're above 85% on pursuant and then afterwards custodial, police brutality and discrimination, symptoms of discrimination. I'm not saying discrimination itself is gone, but the symptoms of it, the police brutality or treating people differently because of race, gender, you know, ethnicity, will disappear. And so I don't know who to speak with about this program. And from my understanding, it's public domain, so following it, you know, shouldn't cost anything more. And if you guys do an audit of all the officers, maybe you all already over 85%. And that would be fantastic, because then you can say, you know, whatever, or you can have the ridership. But if you're going to be hiring more officers, or, you know, then that's just my recommendation. I don't know who to get that to, just public comments.
Our next speaker is Mr. David Pritiker. David Pritiker.
He ran out of time. He was here on his lunch break. He's gone now.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mother Randolph.
Praise the Lord, everybody. Praise the Lord. Good evening, board. I'm one of your favorite riders. I've been riding DART for a very long time. I don't want to talk about any negativity, so I'm going to focus on one incident. And that was the incident that occurred the Friday before the second Saturday of this month. The reason I know about that is because it was the Saturday of our family reunion. I was prepared to ride the red line. I got on the Hampton Station to ride the Parker Road Red Line north, to get off at the West End, to walk to the Greyhound bus station, where I would further board a bus to go to Waco early on Friday, so I could be there early Saturday to help in any preparation for the family reunion. The situation is that I encountered a young lady who was about to deliver, and she was complaining about how bad Dallas is and how she could get no help. I said, that devil is a liar. I said, yeah, she can get some help. I told her about 211, 311, Salvation Army, Purple Heart, names of churches, and a number of other things. The thing of it is, I got involved in her situation because she was distraught, and I was trying to encourage her. I was since I had a duffel bag, a blue duffel bag, and I was in the wheel area, and this particular one was unique in that it was painted yellow, the very first one of its kind. So anyway, I ended up sitting on the seat with her, trying to just motivate her, encourage her, and whatever. I gave her some money because I had just cashed my pension check. I'm a retired person. I was 5 years in complete retirement, couldn't handle that. I like to work. So I went back I teach DISD, substitute teacher, that's one of my assignments. I also volunteer as ESL, an instructor at ESL for one of the colleges here in the city of Dallas. But the thing of it is, I left my duffel bag unattended because I got involved in her situation. My check was in there. I mean, the results of my check, my money, my total check amount. My purse was in there, my driver's license, everything. I have since been trying to pursue the recovery of that duffel bag. What happened is I got off at the West End where I knew I was supposed to get off, but I wasn't thinking about it. I had baggage. So therefore, I left it. And as soon as that door closed, I said, oh! And I went to try to get back on, and the door closed, the train took off. I ran across the street where the station, where they give you information, told the gentleman he needs to help me. I had an emergency situation. He said, the only thing I can do is wait until I get to the end of the red line to do anything. I said, it's too long. We got to intervene. I told my situation, where I was going, my plight, and why I ended up in the situation that I was in. He still couldn't help. I ran across the street. Sorry, but no recovery. All the money, everything else, and I've been trying to pursue, and nobody's giving me really any help to really recover it. But I will continue riding DART. Yes, sir.
Mr. With Mr. Nevin Grinnell.
Talk to Mr. Grinnell.
Nevin?
Nevin.
Grinnell.
Will you raise your hand, sir? Thank you. I shall. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mr. John Dixon. Mr. John Dixon. Our next speaker is Mr. Bernard Wade.
Good afternoon. My name is Bernard Wade. I've been in Dallas 48 years. I've been employed by DART 18 years of those. My issue is loyalty, seniority, and indifference. At DART, we're employees. We are loyal to you all. We come to work, we do our job. Now, if you want to implement policies and procedures, give us the same thing that you give your AE employees, the same as you give the hourly employees. Example, inclement weather, we had an issue where a young lady on the rail, based on a new policy that you are required to come to work whether you're off or not. In the process, she had an accident, broke both her legs, was not covered under workman's comp, but it was her off day. Several employees, I had picked up one of my senior employees, Moran, about 12 a.m. at night, had to walk up Ferguson a quarter of a mile to get to me so I can bring him to work because he drove his truck in the ditch. Had he not came to work, he would have been charged an occurrence. Reginald Reed totaled out his truck. All these things we're doing to better this company, and yet all we ask for is equality. The same that you deserve and the respect you gave this young man, we want that same respect. We have employees, Robert Hill, Freddie Wilkerson. We have the operators, been with DART 40 plus years. When they retire as a bus operator, all they are told is, make sure you do an exit. Nothing, not giving anything. We get up, come to work in the middle of the night when you all are sleeping. I'm not bashing you all, but I'm just telling you what we do for a living. We get up when you all are resting. We're out here making this company look good so that people, when they come to Dallas, appreciate DART. This is what we do. We do this because it's what we love doing. So if we're going to be loyal to the company, can the company be loyal to us? That's what we ask for. If you're going to implement some new policies, you want to take something away from us, make sure you take away the same thing for the hourly, the salary employees. I don't hear anyone here talking about taking anything away from the 33 vice presidents that we have at this company. But yet and still you want to take away from the hard-working people who put you at the forefront that we greet these people day in and day out. Even when we sick, we come to work. Just do what you will do if it was your child driving that bus. That's all we ask. Thank you.
That concludes our public speakers. Thank you all who spoke. We have some items that we must vote on. The first is Mr. Slagle.
Yes, sir.
Items 5, 6, 7.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have items number 5, 6, and 7, which I'll go over briefly. Went before the board and the committee of the whole and were each approved unanimously. We will take official action. Item number 5 is approval of contract extension for funding increase for data network service. Item number 6, initiation of litigation to recover property damage. And item number 7, authorization of settlement and cause number CC-14-01058A, DART versus 154 Lancaster Limited for acquisition of DART property, or for DART parcel SOC 3-11 in connection with South Oak Cliff Line, Section 3. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve each of these.
Motion made and seconded by Dr. Christian. All those in favor, please vote yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, please vote no. Those 3 items are approved. Mr. Adams?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. With your permission, I'll address items 8, 9, and 10. Item 8 is approval, just moved, approval of contract for system integrator for the comprehensive fare payment system. Item number 9, approval of contract for DART logo merchandise. And item number 10, approval of contract modification for print and online news services. These were all unanimously approved by the Revenue and Public Relations Committee and by the Committee of the Whole, and I move their approval tonight.
Motion made, seconded by Mr. Carrizales. All those in favor, please signify so by saying yes. Yes. Those opposed, please say no. The motion carries. Ms. Wilkins, next items from your committee.
Okay, item number 11 is a real estate item, is to declare public necessity, establish just compensation, and authorize the acquisition of parcels SOC 3A-01A through SOC 3A-53A, located in Dallas, Texas, for the South Oak Cliff SOC 3 line section, and I move approval.
Second. Motion made and seconded. I thought I heard Mr. Slagle and Mr. Adams, who was a tie. All those in favor, please signify so by saying yes. Yes. Those opposed, please say no. The motion carries. We have no other public comments. Mr. Christian, did you complete a card?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
Okay. Would you complete one after you speak?
Okay, yes, sir, I will take care of that. It sounds like you already know my name.
You've spoken before.
Yes, sir, I will. I'll take care of it. I appreciate it. I didn't want to speak, but one thing I did is I heard a lot of concerns. I come up here and I talked to you before, consistent of what we do. We're the #1 agency in the world. We're the #1 light rail in the world. We #3, #5 in the bus system in the world. There's no arguments. Most transit authorities have to come through our back door because they can't knock on the front door. This 5-star is crippling us. It's killing us. We cannot provide 5-star service when you got the public, the people that ride our transits day in and day out, when they come to the buses and the fare box are not working, they keep asking us about this 5-star. When they go to the transits and they're using the machines and they can't receive their tickets, they keep asking us about this 5-star. But yet, every time you look around, you come up with something different. You come in with us talking about these modifications that you want to consistently take from the employees. I heard one individual say, we get more done at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning than most of you get done all day long. But yet we don't complain. You looking to take and you're looking to beautify Dart. My question to you, beautify the employees. If you want to present 5-star, present it to the employees. They are the heart and soul of what we do, and yet we don't complain. We ask you to be fair with us like we be fair to you. We make you look good, so we're asking you, please, make us look good. That's all we ask. Martin Luther King once said, I have a dream. Barack Obama said also, I believe in a dream. ATU, our presiding president, Mr. Kenneth Day, our ATU Executive Board, ATU representatives, and our ATU members, we dream a dream that we will come together, work together, grow together, and continue through you and through us, that we will continue to build this great company to what it is. Thank you.
We have no further business. This committee is adjourned.
He didn't fill his card.
Pardon me?
He didn't fill out his card.
This committee is adjourned at 7:13, and
This is William, hopefully your favorite videographer. We love comments. If you don't like the way Dart is handling things, lay it out for everyone to see. If you like or hate this video, tell us. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, tell us. We even love it when you call. Better yet, like or follow us on Facebook or subscribe to us on YouTube and get instant notices of all our videos the moment they are posted.